Life these days just feels like an endless waiting in line. Like you're just waiting in line at Mount Everest, throwing plastic trash all over Mount Everest. Yeah, okay, so I don't know. I just thought I'd get on here and do a little political 4th of July coverage early. Get it in early before the long weekend, the long holiday, so you folks can enjoy at your leisure. We're pre-taping for the long weekend, and I don't know. I probably shouldn't talk about this, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. I just had my meeting with my job. I'm sort of being phased out of my job. That's what it kind of feels like. I mean, maybe I'm prone to believe the most. They basically kind of told me to get my shit together. That was the gist of it. It was like, I don't know. They kind of have too many videographers, maybe. Well, the thing is, I'm terrible at emails. I'm just like really bad. Just obnoxiously bad. And well, I mean, to be honest, it's cost me a lot in my career. I feel like I've been traumatized by emails at key points in my life, particularly when dealing with poets. I haven't really had a whole lot of good luck emailing with poets over my career. They usually don't email me back, or they're fucking, it's just bad news. And so I kind of have this kind of like stupid Luddite attitude toward email where particularly since I got fired. Once I got fired from my job in 2018 at Media Machine because I wouldn't cooperate politically. They wanted me to shave my beard and I wouldn't do it. And so we were just idle. I was idly on. That was, I got fired because I'm a left wing, basically. I was a never Trumper, so I didn't really fit with the new era. But in any case, that was the last time that I really had to conduct, emails on a regular basis. In a more professionally committed, my fucking thing is coming unscrewed, capacity. So since then, I've had this kind of like freelance. I was a 1099 until last year. That's the thing, is I just got kind of promoted last year. I was actually made to be part-time staff, and the thing is, I just can't do it on Mondays. When I started doing the open mic in 22, they didn't have hardly anything on their schedule that was a Monday. It was all Wednesdays and Fridays, so I just thought, what the hell? I'll do Mondays every Monday at KGB. Then, last year, they started to have more events on Monday, as they have traditionally. I mean, Poetry Project, the Monday has always been a big thing. And so I can't work Mondays. And so it's like, that's, a bunch of the jobs that I'm already disqualified for. So I don't know. It's just like all these kind of New York internship jobs where it's like, you do it and you sort of subsidize you're doing it. You figure out a way to pay to live in New York and pay the exorbitant cost of living in order that you can sort of like do this job for less than a living wage, less than what they would have to pay you to be able to afford to live here, in the hopes that maybe you'll be able to move up at these organizations or up these ladders kind of from within. I guess I've kind of stalled out on the ladder. I mean, New York does fucking grind you out. I mean, now I do feel like my style is suddenly just like old. All my ideas, like I want to play fucking Hang On Sloopy at the fucking open mic. It's like, so I don't know. Maybe I'm being pushed out. Maybe I'm no longer economically viable. I'm like defense. I'm falling down. the remake. Uh, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm proud of the career that I've had there. You know, I've gotten to film some amazing shit. And the thing is, okay, so I'm bad at email, basically. So it's like I'm terrible at responding, and I often don't respond. You know, they'll text me. I mean, they also told me like I need to cash my checks faster. I just need. I mean, to be honest, like I kind of adopted this slovenly, quote unquote, beatnik lifestyle, where you just try to do nothing and lay flat and all this kind of shit. And I don't know. I guess it was kind of a protest just against technology and just the tyranny of email. The endless bureaucracy and just like the electronic leash. It's all I had. It was the only way I could exert like my freedom, and it was the only power I had. Even though I killed my whole career because I'm terrible at emails. I mean, that's one thing I will say, is like you have to communicate quickly and clearly in the modern age. That is like one of, I would say, that's basically everybody's job now, is just emails and just communicating and shit, and online, electronically, email, text, whatever it is. Slack. I'm not even on that shit. I mean, I'm not even a part of that. I'm not even on fucking Discord, or I don't even know what I'm way behind, actually, because thanks to the stimulus package and just stroke of luck, I've been able to kind of coast economically, since 2020, basically. And I don't know, so I've got to kind of restructure my life, fiscally speaking, and get more income streams. I mean, that's what's unfortunate about this, is like, it's one of my principal income streams. Even though it's not a lot of money, it is something. And like all of us today, it's basically like we're just piecing together 3 or 4 or 5 different jobs. And so it's like, okay, I make a little money at Poetry Project and for filming fucking poetry readings. It's like, what could be better? The fact that I'm even getting paid to do that. I mean, they might have some kind of budget cuts. I don't know. And then it's like I make a little money at the open mic. Okay, so that's 2 things. It's like if I get my other job back at Columbia, that'd be like 3 things. But it's like, it's still not enough. You need 4 or 5 fucking things. And so you just piece together all these little $100 gigs all over the place. It's just harder and harder to do that. You got to have a trust fund in place to subsidize working for these prestigious arts organizations. And maybe they're just kind of signaling to me like, hey, you should move on. They basically said, I can respond faster. And the other thing is like, okay, when I started there, I was a videographer. That's what I'm trained to do. I mean, maybe that's a fake job, but like, it's what I, sort of made a fake part-time income doing for a couple years. So I've managed to convince myself that I deserve this amount of money or something. Oh, look at all this congestion. Look at all this New York congestion. It's so congested here. And I've never made $60,000 a year, $70,000 a year, $80,000 a year doing it. So I don't know. I need to cross here. I don't know. I just need to figure out my whole fucking life, basically. Suddenly. I don't know. It feels like I got dumped. I mean, I kind of didn't have a great feeling about it. We scheduled this meeting like a month ago, which, like, who schedules a meeting for July 3rd in, like, a month in advance? It's like, I don't know. And it was like 3 people were on the Zoom call with me. And so it did feel like, it felt like I was either going to get a promotion or it felt like Goodfellas, where Tommy thinks he's going to get made and he gets whacked instead. When you're surrounded by people at the meeting, they're all there to kind of emotionally reinforce each other. But I don't know. So I'm just kind of taking stock, figuring out how to fucking move forward. I never made that much money there anyway. But they said that they could keep me on to do special events, which sounds like almost nothing. And so, to be honest, it seemed like they were kind of trying to heavily suggest that I just leave gracefully. But I don't know. I'm just kind of a negative. They said they would be happy to continue to work with me in whatever capacity that I choose. But it's like, okay, that being said, I do have to kind of like get my shit together. One of the reasons why I can't do emails is because I smoke weed all the time. I know you should definitely be talking about all this stuff on the internet, publicly, permanently, every day. Great idea. Like, they could just pop over and watch this and this is my commentary. I didn't know what to expect. It was just kind of a weird time to do a meeting, like right before freaking holiday weekend. I guess that's probably when they want to fire people. Before the holiday. So we can cope with it, so we can deal with it. Get to take our minds off it by whatever our plans are. I don't know. It just felt so corporate. There was a lot of corporate speak about transitioning the role, and I don't know. I definitely feel like they don't respect anything that I've done there. And so I don't know. It's if you don't participate in the email thing, you can't really be an employee. I don't know. I mean, they don't expect you to like respond immediately. They said 1 to 2 business days. But I don't know. What do I do? Do I just keep smoking weed the rest of my life? Avoiding the truth? Do I need to get clean and pull my life together? Pull my shit together? Am I even capable of doing that? Am I too far gone? I mean, I don't know. I don't just want to be another corporate cog. And, god damn. With poetry shit. I like I said the other day, it's like, it's amazing I've gotten as far as I have. It's amazing I even have this job. I've even done the things I've been able to do. And, I look at it like out of frustration because I see the opportunities everywhere. And so things that I wasn't able to, complete or make good on, that stuff drives me nuts. The fact that I haven't achieved the X, Y, or Z publication or whatever that may be, endorsement. But that's, just a way, you're just like looking at the negatives, you know. You're not focusing on the things that you do have, the things that you have achieved, or it's just hard getting that close. I was so close to like being a part, being in, so I don't know, being ratified by the greats, and sort of hobnobbing and walking with the giants. And I'm proud of what I do. Even, I mean, that video of the Hang On Sloopy, I think, I don't know. Am I too old? Have I aged out of the metropolis? I do think that there needs to be like intergenerational hipsters of all different eras to just kind of keep the fabric of the time alive. And so, that's the other sad thing about it, is I'm like older than all the people that are further than me. I'm older than everybody and further behind. So that's kind of pathetic. Maybe if I just spent more time writing, less time trying to get attention on the internet. To no viewers, documenting reality, spilling my guts, being 100% transparent, sharing too much information, showing my hand. Yeah, no one is watching. Okay, we're 17 minutes in. Okay, that's all right. We're just gonna keep going, okay? We built this YouTube. I mean, it's July 3rd. Everybody is out jet skiing or windsurfing or parasailing, I hope. I'm a creature of the city. I never go anywhere. We're going to the beach tomorrow. Tomorrow is beach day. I'm excited to go back. I tried to go yesterday, but the fucking train, the Q train, just like totally shut down, which I think was a message from God. That, I don't know, have I manifested this? Have I talked too much? Do I think too much about how I'm getting older, how my parents are getting older, how I'm a failure? Did I miss, what do I do? What do I do for the rest of my life? I mean, how do I finance it? How do I support whatever it is I'm doing economically? What kind of job? I'm so incompetent. I can't even fucking email. I'm I have a drug habit that makes emailing way harder than it should be. Like they said, I could send Google auto responses. I don't know why I don't just do that. Got it. Whatever the hell that is. The thing is, I try to be super, like, boss. What's the equivalent of a girl boss for a man? Man boss? Boss baby? Guy boss? I guess I'm guy bossing. I try to be guy boss with my emails and be succinct and terse. But it's not who I naturally am. It would take me forever to write an email. And the thing is, I'm sort of I'm not getting paid enough to be like a slave to the fucking digital communications. I've tried to live outside the fucking technocratic bureaucracy of email, and I don't know. It's just like it's this. This might sound like a fucking crazy excuse, but it's like it is like this exennial thing where it's like you go outside all day. You know, like I don't want to be fucking tethered. I don't want to be leashed to fucking checking emails, responding, going into the office. You know, I'm not getting paid that much. I'm not making $60,000 a year or whatever they're making. You know, I'm making way, way, way less than that. No matter how they try to make it seem, oh, you're getting this much an hour and that's a good wage. And it's like, well, it's nowhere close to anything that is even significantly contributing to supporting yourself. It's just, it would be like a bonus income on top of like a regular salary. But for me, it's like, I'm a Chipotle boy. So I just eat Chipotle all the time. So I spend $12 a day on food, you know. Even though the portion sizes have gone down. I don't care. I'm on permanent vacation. You know, I'm gonna live the vacation as long as possible. You know, what I've thought about just going back and getting a fucking restaurant job. What should I do? I don't know. Are there jobs? Are there any jobs? Is there any way to make money? Maybe just sell poetry on the street. Why the fuck not? You know, people are able to do that in New York. They just need a typewriter and like a twee kind of aesthetic. I could be a typewriter poet. I don't know. Yeah, so I guess I'm too cool for emails. Answering emails, that's like, I don't know. It's a stupid hill to die on. Yeah, twee. I said the word twee, so now Ashley's here. It's a stupid hill to die on. Yeah, I shouldn't have said the magic word. I said the magic Ashley word, twee. She's here. The tweeness is here. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm being downsized or something. It's a crossroads. It's a fork in the road for me. I mean, I do want to stay in New York. You know, I think I just have to be here. I think I'm qualified to be here. Yeah, we'll meet at Bleecker Park. I wish I could get some kind of senior cure position. Some kind of, yes, we'll meet at Bleecker Park. Some kind of honorary. Why can't I be a consultant? Can I just be a poetry consultant? You know, they should pay me $30,000 a year to just consult. Let me discuss, you know, poetry and our options and what we want to book, and you know, let's imagine. Okay, Ashley, we'll see you in a little while. But yeah, I haven't applied for a consultant job or a senior career position, so I'm trying to get people to. I mean, okay, here's one nice thing that happened. A guy sent me a card. I see this card outside my door, and it's wrapped in brown paper. And I open it up, and this guy, he's from Minnesota. It was from Minnesota, and he sent me this fucking card thanking me for putting him on. I don't know how he got my address. I don't know how he got my weird personal address out in Midwood, of all places, but my address was on the fucking envelope. I'm sure I told it to him, but in my drug-addled haze, you know, I just totally forgot about it. My short-term memory's just gone. I'm not going to remember any of this. That's how I obliterate my own standards and just get things done. You just got to get her done, okay? Did you not see fucking Larry the Cable Guy? You just gotta get her done. Yeah, so this guy sent me a fucking card from Minnesota, just thanking me for putting him out in Easy Paradise Monday night open mic. And you know, it's little things like that that make it worthwhile. Little things like Ashley giving me gifts. Of course, Ashley gives me gifts. We definitely recognize that. Ashley is constantly giving me cards and letters and paper, or kind of paraphernalia, whatever you call that. What do you call that? Literaria or something? There's some Latin word for it or something. Who the fuck knows? Just trying to sound pretentious. I mean, hopefully people watch this later. This is my big Independence Day spectacular, land acknowledgement spectacular. I just feel like land acknowledgements are kind of a hollow. It's like, yeah, we took this shit. We're not going to give it back, but we're acknowledging that we took it from you. It's kind of fucked up. It's like, well, you're going to acknowledge, give them some money. Yeah, we acknowledge it. Here's $700 for rent. Sorry, we took it. It's just like, no, we're acknowledging that we stole it. We acknowledge that. That's the first step. That's the first step towards recognizing you have a problem. You know, this is the first step towards karmic retribution, karmic debt payment. Oh man, I saw somebody recommending PubKey. I saw a video recommending PubKey, the Bitcoin pub where I watch WrestleMania, where they do free stand-up on Sundays. And we can't have the word get out on PubKey. We can't have it be ruined by TikTok. Okay, yeah, so what the fuck else? I don't know. There's a million fucking things. Let me check my notes. Sorry, this is very unprofessional. I'm in the middle of West 4th Street. Okay, yeah. Well, I just wanted to talk about the kind of weird phenomenon that, like, even the NBA is like Nepo babies now. Like Bronny James. Apparently, well, I saw this video. Okay, I can't read it right now, Ashley. I cannot read it right now, okay? I'm in the middle of this. I'm in the middle of explaining nepotism in the NBA. Well, apparently, the video was just about how you can't get in the NBA from the hood anymore. That's actually not a viable career path. It's all like players of guys who are already in the NBA, or children. See you later, Ashley. I'll see you at 8:30. Okay? You know, which, like, you think if anything was going to be a fucking meritocracy, it'd be the goddamn NBA. And I guess it is. I guess, you know, part of nepotism is like the genetics. It's not just random. You know, it's not totally like this system where it's just like, oh, it's untalented people getting favors because they're related. It's like, well, you know, if your parents are fucking super talented and made for a certain job, you know, particularly like if they're both actors or they're both fucking writers or whatever it is, it's like you're probably going to be pretty fucking good at that too. I mean, is that a surprise? If your fucking dad is LeBron James, you know, it's probably like more of a chance, I guess, that you're going to be fucking 7 feet tall or whatever, 6'8", and have those kind of skills, those kind of motor skills. So I don't know exactly what the fuck is going on in LA. To me, it's kind of crazy. Well, okay, one aspect of it is the fucking kid's name is Bronny, which I think is a real fucking weird. It's a real fucking thing to name your kids. Your name is LeBron, you name your kid Bronny. And I've always been fascinated by, Bronny. It's kind of worse than Donald Jr. maybe in a way. Bronny. It's like taking, you know, maybe his name is LeBron Jr. I don't know. But I've always been fascinated by names that are kind of like double Jimmy James. And my mom's maiden name is Matthews, actually. So in a certain way, my real name, or one of my names, is Matt Matthews. So, maybe that would be a better professional stage name for me, to go by Matt Matthews. But Brawny, LeBron Braun, is a good Nepo baby name. And I also thought about naming my kid Procky, because my last name is Proctor. So my kid's name would be Procky Proctor. That kind of Jimmy James. I like that kind of double. That's very showbiz to me. Willie B. Williams, Procky Proctor, Matt Matthews. Should I start to go by Matt Matthews? Let your opinion be known in the chat. Probably not. At least I don't get trolled on YouTube. If I was doing this on Twitch, I would have been trolled a million times by now. People would just got in the chat, talking shit, roasting you, heckling. Yeah, what else? So yeah, I'm not economically viable. I'm trying to figure out how to retool my life financially. Can I just take out some kind of huge loan and live off that? I could put something up as collateral, my poetry books. I don't know. It's hard to know what this country is going to look like a year from now. Hopefully, we kind of stay the course and just stay balanced and continue forward in our kind of like slow progression toward just survival. I mean, it has been great, but I don't know who's going to save us from just the privatization of every goddamn thing. And just being charged like highly stressful, like lethal amounts of money, being required to work like lethal. And I don't know, you're trying to win the lottery of like being an entertainment career success, become famous. I guess that was a dumb kind of illusion to bank on. Like my friend Jenna, the last time we hung out, was like, just planning to get famous is not like, a career, like, that's not like a good plan to have, just like, oh, I'm gonna get famous. That's how I'll like solve all my problems. Financially, anyway. Or just like, I don't even know. It might help certain things. It's almost like something you just have to find out what it's like. If you don't achieve it, then you failed, And how do you admit that you're a failure, or how do you rearrange? I'm getting to the age where it's like, it's hard not to get bitter because I've just been fucked over so many times. And I don't know, keep doing it. How do you get ahead? I mean, is it all just rigged? Is it all just fucking lame people? The fact that, I don't know, people are good at emails is like kind of frustrating to me. Like, the world is just run by the people who are good at emails. The people who efficiently kind of conduct the corporate business model of poetry. Like, yes, we have all this financial structure and tax code and blah, blah, blah to run this thing, and It just imitates a fucking corporation. That's how it seems. And I've I've always been, uh, it's nice that I get paid what I get paid, but uh, I don't know. I've given a lot, and so it's hard to be 40 years old and have nothing to show for it. I need a graduate degree. I needed some kind of position. I should be a community college professor right now. I should be able to afford to have some kind of adult agency. There's no reason why. I tried to be an artist. That's really what I did for the last 10 years. I wasn't really thinking about, I just thought I'd get famous, or, it would monetize itself through success of just getting better, being interesting, making cool stuff. And so I thought somebody would notice and people would catch on or something. I guess that stuff doesn't happen automatically. You kind of gotta, that's the business that you're building. It's like, how do you sell t-shirts? How do you get your books out there? How do you ship them to people? If you want to be digitally fucking retarded because you just want to smoke weed all day, then I don't know how long that's tenable. To me, it was just a protest against everything. We wanted to stop the machine. We want to contribute as little as possible to the empire and the death of the planet and the death of the fucking animals. And we just want to, try to help people perform at the top of their fucking potential and just get their brains glowing with fucking consciousness on fire. That's still what I'm committed to. Poetry seems like the best place for that. It's like that poem that we were talking about the other night in the park, the Ted Berrigan poem about, St. Mark's Church is closed for the summer, yet people all over the world continue writing poems. Why? Something like that. As if Poetry Project is the center of the poetry world and nothing else matters. I mean, it is interesting how it anchors a certain, I don't know, wing or aspect of American poetry, even though that's shifting and that definition is not nailed down or defined totally permanently in any way. Still, St. Mark's, I think, does exude this kind of like central power plant. It's like the the Vatican of fucking poetry. It is like the central, Mecca or whatever. I guess it's the Taj Mahal. It's just the center of like, it was the place for avant-garde poetry. I guess they still are committed to be having avant-garde. That's more about politics now. And so it's just like all these New York institutions. It's sort of a dehydrated skeleton of itself and just like a repackaged kind of space ice cream version of what it was. But, the tradition is still, it's still a place where poets go to meet in person, to talk, to share their texts, to trade, gossip, whatever. It's where partnerships happen, where people meet. And so I've been really lucky to be able to spend the amount of time there that I have, and to get paid for it is totally amazing. This is what I'm talking about. It's just like I utterly failed. I did not really know how to conduct myself socially and make the best of it. I just kind of got intimidated. And, all of the Trump era stuff really made that impossible. because it was just, basically the whole time I've been there, it's been a Trump, you know, post-Trump. And so, the literary world did sort of pull an about face and try to act like they were super progressive the whole time. Like that was their whole impetus the whole time. And that's, I don't know. That's just not really true. The literary world was, watch those fucking Hal Hartley movies. The guy who plays the editor. It's just like that whole world was very macho, alcoholic, misogynistic. Norman Mailer stabbed his wife. That was not that long ago. And so I don't know. It's just been, it's a time when, I don't know, it's just been an interesting time to be involved and to be committed to that kind of thing. And to just, that's why I was there, to just support and just listen, to put it on video and get it out so as many people could see it. People who couldn't afford to be here, people who can't afford to be in New York. I would have loved that. If I was a freaking teenager or whatever, if I knew the St. Mark's Poetry Church had a fucking poetry live stream, I would have watched it. In fucking Ohio, How do they get their brand out there? Do they want to? I don't know. Further into places that aren't New York. I guess I can kind of walk around here a little bit. Yeah, so what else? I guess I should just get better at poetry. That's, how do you do that? I don't know. You have to take lessons. I don't know. You have to pay to have somebody teach you. It's expensive. It's expensive to buy the technique so that you can write like Ryan Patrick Cook. And I'm just a hater, okay? I'm just a hater. That's just who I am. And I'm on the adventure. To go back to this poem, it's like, it's cool to have St. Mark's as the headquarter, and it's always going to be the kind of like I said, the center or the Vatican or whatever. It's always going to be home, I think, in a certain way for a lot of people. And I've spent enough time there, that like I've had an interesting story there as sort of this swabby fucking on the deck with all the ghosts, just hanging out with the ghosts, just watching everything quietly, taking it all in, watching poetry history unfold before my eyes and deals that are made, handshakes, Charles Bernstein. And, seeing great readings. I don't know. I was sort of led to believe I might get a promotion. I knew that probably wasn't going to happen. But I was sort of hopeful. That's what I need. I need a deus ex machina in my life. Where's my deus ex machina? I need a deus ex machina to come in and just like solve all my problems. Some kind of financial windfall that's like substantial and permanent. It's one thing to get 20 grand like one time. That's great. That's amazing. I've never had that much money. But like, there's still no sustainability. It's like we're constantly living in this fucking quicksand of just of debt. Having to pay rent, having to pay bills. It never ends. And so if you can't find some kind of fucking ongoing, I felt like last year I had sort of been made a little bit less precarious. you know, as a member of the gig economy and the precariat, and this sort of lie that they sold us where it's like, oh, you can make your own hours and, you know, you're your own boss and you work, you know, extremely part-time. You work when you want to work. I don't know. It'd be nice to make money from poetry. I was doing it. I still do it in a minimal way. To me, I'm in this like psychological fantasy about what it means to be a poet. And like poetry stuff is small to me. You know, poetry stuff is like printing a zine, selling it for $5. Poetry stuff is like, yeah, I get $100 to film the video. I make $100 to do the open mic. It's like, that's poetry money. You know, poetry money is like a couple $100s at a time. It's small. It's small. There's something about the smallness that feels, I don't know, anti-imperialistic. It's not about monetizing everything, making the most fucking money, selling the most, being the biggest. It's just about having your little life that's sort of uncompromised and not taking the fucking money, you know? Even though Ted Berrigan's book is called Get the Money, you know, I don't think he was that fiscally responsible or conscientious. He was always borrowing money from people. There's some story about he won a grant for like, and he went to cash a check for like $10,000 or something, you know? And he just had the cash while he was walking around the Lower East Side, just giving it away. It was just flying out of his pockets because that's how little he was conscientious about it. Or he has those poems about how he gets the credit card and he's great at spending money with the credit card. He spends all this fucking money with the credit card, buys this great clothes for his kids, but then he's not so good at paying back the credit card. They chop up his credit card. It's like, that's America. That's everybody. How could you say no to that? And so, me, I'm just like one of the most frugal people. You know, just clenched. I'm all clenched up energetically. I'm not able to get that chi. I can't even get my teeth fixed because I'm so afraid to spend money. Because I'm so, I don't know. I thought I'd hit some jackpot sometime. I thought I'd strike oil like fucking Jed Clampett. I thought I'd strike like poetry oil or, you know, viral fucking fame oil or artistic, you know. I thought at a certain point I'd strike some kind of artistic genius oil and just get some kind of jackpot, you know. Like playing the slot machine, like come on. Sooner or later, it's got to pay out like big time, right? Beaucoup bucks. Someday it's just gonna rain fucking money all over us because we're gonna be so fucking successful and rich. But till then, we're just in hustle culture. I got 5 jobs. I get paid $100 each little gig I do. They're very intermittent. The schedule is not at all reliable or steady. I'm competing with other people that are also extremely precariously employed and part-time. For those, that's this small amount of budget and hours, all for the prestige of, you know, being in New York, being attached to some kind of big name prestige institution. And I don't know, what could I get with my experience, you know, like now? If I cashed out right now, you know, could I get into a fucking MFA program? Do I have 10 pages of like academically acceptable? I would really want to go to a funded program. I would, you know, I don't think they want to give me $40,000 a year of all people. I don't think that's, but who knows? You know, maybe my New York City clout and my just status as a, you know, sort of a DIY bigwig. I'm a player in some small way. I'm a very small time hood, but I'm a player. in the big game of, New York City poetics. We've made some things happen. We've moved the culture around a little bit. We've made the city shake a little bit. People, some people know who we are. I mean, I've gotten a bad reputation. I think a lot of people avoid me and don't like me because of fucking email and digital communication in general, which I'm horrible at. I ask anybody. I'm horrible at responding. People send me very nice messages, very heartfelt things, and I just don't even respond because I'm just so bad at it. And it's just so much responsibility is dictating. And the thing is, a lot of times when you respond to people, then you weird them out and they don't want to talk to you anymore. Because you were high when you sent the message and you were too enthusiastic or something. So I don't know. Should I learn to, should I just bow away gracefully? Is that what they want? That's sort of the vibe I was getting. It sort of felt like they were kind of ushering me out. Which is, frustrating because I felt like it's a new time, it's a new era at that place. I thought maybe, I've put in a lot of years there. I've really been volunteering, working there since 2017, 18. So that's a lot of fucking years, particularly during the pandemic and shit, when not that many people were fucking even at the events. And they don't give a fuck. That's what's kind of disheartening about it. It's like that. None of that really matters. It doesn't count for anything. If you have a bad attitude, if you get on the wrong side of people, if you get a bad reputation, it's very hard to come back from that. And they just want you to leave. They just don't want you to be around because you got the ick. You're giving them the ick. I did want to say that, and hopefully this is the last thing I ever say about it. Haktua girl has strong, I didn't do it, boy, energy. It's pretty much the same phenomena, I would say, as the I didn't do it, boy. The Haktua girl. It's just this line. I didn't do it. It's one line. She has one line. That's all it takes. Americans are fascinated by catchphrases. And if you can get one line, where's the beef? That's all you need. One line can make you immortal. Haktua, spit on that thing. And she's the biggest thing on fucking, fidget spinner talk. It's just fidget spinners. Like, we need trends. We need fashion. These are the flowers of existence. These are the flowers of history. The things that bloom and die out. Trends, pop music, fashion, beauty, hot people, it girls, teen idols. Is this guy leaving? Maybe if this guy's leaving, I'm going to sit down. Back in headquarters here. Not sure if he's coming back or... I guess he's gone. All right, well, let me sit. I'll sit maybe until somebody else tries to sit with me. Lately, as I've been doing this, people are always sitting across from me. The other day, I was sitting in this park in Soho, and this guy came over and asked me, and I was eating. I had just got my food. I was lucky to find the table. And granted, there were 4 seats at the table. I'm one person. But he comes over and he's like, "Do you mind if we sit with you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm eating." I just didn't want to sit with these guys. I think even this table, there's like 6 seats here, maybe 8 if you squeeze people in. If I'm sitting at this table, do not sit at it with me. I'm streaming. You should have the tact to understand you cannot sit at this table with me. But anyway, so I tell this guy, "No, please don't sit with me." And the other guys just sit down anyway. And so I like grab my bag like super passive aggressively, and I like sort of pout and then walk away. That's how I deal with my problems now. I just I don't know, I guess I've just passive aggressive myself out of the running. I'm old. My cultural references are dated as fuck. I have all this fanboy knowledge about, you know, this kind of extremely niche subject that I've alienated myself from all of the real human beings who are a part of it. So how do we move forward? I got to get into some kind of fully funded MFA program. I'd even do like a master's in fucking, if I could just study academic shit, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a creative writing. You know, I am proud of the books that I've published and shit. You know, I'd like to get just bigger distribution for that. You know, whenever I do readings and shit, I can always sell a few copies of whatever it is I've got. I gotta believe you could mass produce, you know, you could scale that up. So I don't know, it just feels we're just choked off at every pass, and what do we do? How do we earn a living anymore? What, you know? And well, that's the choice, you know. It's like I've got to sort of go. Oh my god, I look like super toasted. I've got to like figure out how to get back on the grid. We got to figure out how to become an email participant somehow. How do I acclimate to adult communication rather than just Peter Panning, running away, trying to monetize being an open mic host? I mean, for God's sake, I could do what Chris Hardwick does. I could do what Howie Mandel does. Just give me one of their jobs. Give me one of Howie Mandel's jobs. Give me a fraction of Howie Mandel's income. Oh boy. Mr. Big. Yeah, I was talking about that yesterday. Mr. Big. Oh God. Maybe I'll read some poetry to just kind of kickstart. I haven't read anything in a while. It's just the death of my. I mean, no one will ever kill poetry. Poetry never dies. Poetry is always like the last. Even if you're in jail, you'd be like making poetry like on the fucking wall, probably. I got to imagine I'd still be making poetry in solitary. Solitary confinement seemed like it might even be an ideal poetry kind of environment, really, in a way. Solitary, you know. And it's all about confinement in poetry. It's all about solitary confinement. You know, you're confined to this certain number of syllables in these tight little spaces, these tight little attention kind of funnels, where the few, the proud are called. But let's see here. Okay. It's just like you just keep writing. You know, if your writing affects anybody, you know, if your live stream affects anybody, I think we got to focus on that kind of connection and reward. You know, it's like you're preaching to a few people. You're trying to, and however, you know, if you have any effect at all, and if you can reciprocate and make friends, you know, it's sort of about making friends on the internet, I guess. I did want to talk about chat rooms and AOL, because I was on the internet very early on. I was on America Online. My screen name was TMAT27, and I would go into fucking chat rooms. I thought chat rooms were one of the coolest aspects. I mean, I suppose they still exist. I guess that's what the chat is on this. There's chat everywhere. It's just been like incorporated in all these different things. But chat rooms, I don't know. They felt different. They felt like third places. They felt like these kind of incognito lounge spaces where it was like, you know, you could kind of just like be whoever you wanted to be. And people are just there to have this kind of weird feast of a conversation that's sort of like, you know, your cross aiming with other people and shit. So I miss chat rooms. I wondered if that was in the Wayback Machine. Does the Wayback Machine go all the way back to fucking chat rooms on America Online? In this sort of pre-World Wide Web interface. I mean, America Online had all, it was all there was. It was like weird kind of forums and shit and chat rooms with strangers. And now, I mean, there's probably all kind of fucking weirdos. At least on TikTok and shit, you have to show your face. Alright, so let's just see what the fuck I've got here. I don't know. This might all be antiquated at this point. This is like old. My heart sucks because my head don't buy it. Feel a poem coming on. A Catholic accident. Doing acid in jail. Zimmerman painting stills from endless movies he's watched on the never-ending tour bus. What is the date today? Next train scheduled for half an hour. Blue Collar Comedy Tour takes Governor Poetry Island. Don't walk near me. Don't sit at my table. I grabbed the bag real passive-aggressively. So that's about when those guys sat down at my table. That was just, that's how interesting my life is. That was like a major life event. The fact that these guys sat at my table. How dare they in New York City, a city of 16 million people. The New York metro area. How dare they sit at my table? Desktop icon sleeve, humility of a stain, didn't ruin it, and the parent hotel. Some of the weird listening in the drinking water. We tried to steal it first. That's not fair, screams Anthony Michael Hall as Bill Gates. Your life is fake, I know, I work there. Can't wait to get home and watch the debate. Apparently it ended democracy. Certain narrative threads weave through the timeline. I know what I'm talking about. Haven't been making enough personal appearances. Rest in peace, Van Winkle. Screening Belushi Film Festival, half summer gone. Thought I saw Emma Roberts in Times Square. Blonde out front, forget-me-not. Thankful for Adult World in Palo Alto. Futility resistance crushed for opposing the gears. They rolled the golden carpet out for Steve Kometko, Jupiter and Saturn. How'd I fuck that up? Unlock Sargasso Plains, grad student hiding in the closet. When an uncle would take us to the playground, that was a labyrinthian wooden castle, Hyrule exploration. I find scandal delicious, can't help myself. A Clockwork Ashley chat in an arranged daydream. It wasn't loud enough. The largesse sucks us in. Paul Upper East Side, John Upper West. Have a lot of questions, lie beneath the unknown camera, locked down there the whole movie. I'm with Brandon. It's touching we have a decrepit president, pre-rejected by other women. Mr. Orange, but he loved him, so they believed it. It goes against my better judgment. Just like life in the Canticle of Pericles. They look like they got married as he turns the pages of his life, painted from memory. California, New York City, Venice, Coney Island. Girl from the wine country. Rest in peace, cheesesteak parmesan. Like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Mortal Kombat 2 fatalities uppercut me into the pit. These were his days. Feel like I'm dating Siskel and Ebert. Taking this bit way too far. The stizzies are weak. You're gone, I'm done. The trailers are still named after them. Luxury Bones. Posted my birthday 2 times a year. I've been running to the city. Forgot the Gummies Express. Knocked over the sea light. The Sky sold boxes to the Maudlin Bush push-in. Jim Belushi lives in a $38 million mansion. She's Vietnamese, you're Filipino. I dig cerebral inhabitants, bad boys club wired for sound. Get the bag to buy some shoes. The meth head stole it. It only got 8 likes on Facebook, which was a lot for me. If people think you're an arrogant jerk, white knights thinks it's their job to be correctively mean to you. I think about it all the time. Wish there was some way to get back. Wish I could make you feel a quarter as shitty as you've hurt me. Fuck this whole fucking place. Making myself small in social political dialogue. Shuffled off the sweet spot of life. How we all had to take a dive to look like good people. Instead of corporate welfare, but we won't get that either. I'm terrified there's a countdown. Let's name it Rutherford. I work for Don't open it. No one thinks I'm 9. Like the mouth of a crusher machine, chewing to death an old boat trailer. My leg is killing me. Maybe I could go to the dentist Wednesday, but they specifically do not take my insurance. They went out of their way to say that. If you express confidence in front of group opinion, they want to take you down a few notches. The way the sound bites in Paris took me home over the river. Anybody who vacations with their entire family in Europe is my class enemy. Her dad owns a house in Germany, but he never goes there anymore. They came here to get away from that. Just a poor rural guy waiting for a handout. Forgot to film the blank tribute in my dream, like a bunch of crappy old boxes full of people. I'll never live it down. All my dreams failed and my youth spent for nothing. He didn't even know who he was. That definitely sounds like golf or baseball. I don't have time to explain myself to you. I've thought all this through for nothing. Deconstructed methods till it's just right. A bunch of pieces in a garage laid out on blankets. Never saw them again. Let's just ignore our problems till they kill us. This guy's smell interrupted me. Camels and sweat iodine. Ed Friedman recommended him. It's a beeline because it goes right to my house. I think I'll try the opposite and end up at the ocean. Life goals fall before my eyes. I read out loud till they bleed from my head. On behalf of the DNC, you get one register that never changes. Water skiing along the flow state, which has nothing to do sitting there during office hours to read it. Fuck you, thanks for no help. I'd slap the shit out of you if I got the chance. We're living in a hopelessness where even imagining an alternative feels impossible. And do me a favor, don't ever come back. This is the bad place. Shame on you demons for succeeding here. You don't deserve anything you have, and neither do the brats. Blah, 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 blah. As you live more of the song, it begins to inhabit you. I bet on myself and lost. I'm too old to be where I am in life. Are you a strawberry? A strawberry would taste good with an Oreo under it. From lack of noise. Should have got the opposite of my hopes up. Cyanide tap water hyperextended my codependence. Too mask presenting. I was a male war bride. I'm a fugitive from a chain gang. I was trying to be nice. It nearly got me killed. Yeah, I don't know. Strawberry, Ashley. Strawberry Oreos. I saw this girl. There was this little girl singing Barbie Girl on the train. This girl's like, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. And then she's like, I'll bet a strawberry would taste good on an Oreo. So that's why my live stream is called Strawberry Oreos. I thought that was a unique vision of America on 4th of July. Strawberry Oreos. I was listening to this interview with Eddie Murphy yesterday from the New York Times. It was pretty interesting. I just want to give Eddie Murphy a shout out. I think he's like a generational... He's made a lot of great movies. I think he's kind of under-recognized. Like, the guy's still doing it. He should get an Oscar. You know, Eddie Murphy is undeniably hilarious. He's still funny as hell. His vibe is cool. Okay, what else? What else am I going to talk about for the next 50 minutes? Oh, boy. Am I going to fill time? I've already spilled the beans on my entire professional. I've disclosed. You know, I've never signed a NDA that I'm aware of at Poetry Project. They've never made me sign an NDA, so not that I know anything. I don't know. I'm just trying to be a literary. It's outlaw. We're outlaw country, you know. We're literary outlaws. We're on the run from Johnny Law. It ain't no trip to Cleveland. Okay, kisses, Ashley. Kisses. We'll see you soon. We're on the run from Johnny Law, okay? It ain't no trip to Cleveland. And we're doing it the hard way. We're doing it our way. We're not compromising. We don't have any money. You know, nobody gives you credit for that. Nobody gives you credit for being poor. For being poor white trash. You don't get any bonus consideration. No one's like, oh, we should help this guy who's just sort of managed to claw it out here on starvation conditions for a decade. starving artists, right? I mean, how many of the trust fund babies are starving? How many of the NYU kids are starving? Because I'm living on the cheap, and I have been for a long time. And I'm incompetent. I'm ineligible to get hired to do anything. Can I just do what Rick Rubin does? Just let me like sit like in the room with a beard and like meditate. Be like, yeah, that's good. That was good. Do more of that. I could do that. I could be Rick Rubin. I could be like a guru producer who makes millions of dollars to just vibe. But instead, I'm on the internet complaining about class inequality, how we're getting fucked economically by the Steven Schwartzman, Larry Fink privatization of everything, our oxygen, our public space doesn't belong to us anymore. It's criminal to sleep outside. They can pollute the environment however they want. There's no regulations. Drill, baby, drill. Just dump shit everywhere. There's no way to prosecute. There's no way to hold people responsible. It's hard not to be a doomer. Oh yeah, I wanted to, I think I identify as culturally, I'm a boomer. I think I'm a boomer, actually, technically, culturally speaking. Well, I did play Hang On Sloopy. I'm just into that music, you know, I'm into that. I grew up with boomer culture. I watched all those movies. We studied it. We thought that was what you had to do. We thought you had to study the masters and then skillfully misread. You know, it was the agony of influence, right? And boy, were we wrong. Just throw it all away. Fuck it. I mean, there's nothing lamer than yesterday's cultural artifacts. We need something new. We need something now. And I don't know. I just feel like my age is showing. You know, I was born in the 1900s. So how do I stay in the game? You know, I thought to some degree, like you know, the strategy, right? If you just hang in there, if you don't quit, if you don't get fired, then you eventually win. If you can just hang in there. And I guess I had a little bit more goodwill with my employer. I thought they'd keep me around. You know, I thought I could have kind of I could maintain the sort of schedule that I'm comfortable with, doing like 6 events, 8 events, doing about 1 a week or something each semester. I don't know. Have I run out of luck? How do I re-up? How do I get a real job? How do I get a real income? Fuck the job. You know, it's about income. You gotta have a big ass income. You know, should I just clip videos off YouTube? You know, I guess I'm naive about the way I conduct a lot of things. I do things like energetically, or like what feels like the right thing to do. You know, and so in a certain way, I just don't even want to deal with money. You know, I don't really ask for more money. Usually I don't like that conversation typically because, you know, I'm a white guy. So it's like if I'm looking to get paid more or whatever, I don't have like, you know, well, anyway, and I don't know. Maybe this is just a city for the young. You come here when you're good looking. You know, you can do these kind of internship jobs. They just want you around. You can show them how smart you are. They just want pretty people around, people who might turn into something. Maybe you can work your way up. You know, when I started working at St. Mark's, it was right in the middle of Trump era, so I did not expect to ever get hired. I just thought they're not going to hire me. They should hire somebody who's not a white guy, basically. And so a lot of people did get hired that weren't me. But I've managed to make about the same amount of money consistently and have a steady fucking position doing it. That's why it's a little bit of a surprise that they came out and like are kind of giving me an ultimatum and kind of telling me to move on. You know, you expect that kind of shit in corporate America. But, you know, apparently in corporate America, they don't want you when you're old either. You know, anybody over 40 or 50, they don't want you, you know. They want young people for some reason. I don't know. I guess because they can work them to death. They don't have families yet. But it's getting harder to hold on in New York, I guess, and figure out how to make it work in the kind of cost of living insanity. And I don't know. I mean, I'll hack it out as long as I can. Maybe I should just give up, go do something else. You know, I don't necessarily, and maybe I already am this guy, but I don't want to be that guy who's like, New York is my whole identity. You know, like the only thing about me is like, oh, I live in New York, you know, and I'm obsessed with New York. And, you know, maybe it's like I do have to go somewhere else to succeed. Or, I mean, I don't even know what else to do. You know, like I said, if I could get into some kind of funded MFA, like Ohio State, right, is funded. That's like my worst nightmare, going back to Ohio State. I'd have to figure out how to write poetry that's like acceptable to people that send emails. You know, I just think that generationally, this is like why everything is lame now. It's because the people that run everything are just the people that are efficient and studious communicators who are constantly on their BlackBerry or whatever. You know, it's just like if you're constantly answering emails, if you're on top of that shit, you're not like some irresponsible, you know, messy slob of an artist who's just like laying around smoking opium all day, like Jean Cocteau or whatever. I mean, I guess that's an excuse, but the world is run through fucking tech interfaces now, and apps, fucking Asana, Slack. I don't even know what the fuck this is. You know, last time I had a hourly job was in a restaurant, any kind of job security, but even that is very abusive and taxing and impossible to sustain. And, you know, that was way before apps became like a part of your job. I don't even know, you know, if I get a job now, I would be way behind as far as like, oh, we use this fucking app to, you know, do our scheduling and our shifts. And I mean, I'm such a fucking, I don't know, other people have this problem, but like, it's impossible to remember your fucking passwords. Every fucking different app wants a different fucking combination. Like, oh, you need 8 to 36 characters with a capital, a lowercase, a number, a symbol. And so I've got all these different fucking passwords for all this different shit because the requirements are all different. And I can never, so it's like, we recently got this app to like clock in and out at my job. And of course, I've just been totally unable to even do it. I can't remember my password, so I can never clock in. So it's like I'm constantly having to like text them my hours and shit. So it's just very unprofessional. You know, and I've sort of been, you know, cosplaying like, well, I'm an artist. You know, I've got more important shit to think about. I've got to smoke weed all day and like wait for the poetry to just like come to me. I have to walk around and like look at stuff until like poetry like comes into my brain, and then I jot it down, and like it's divine, like channeling from God, and I can't edit it. You couldn't possibly erase any of it or edit it. I just have to go read it to people because it's something that I wrote down in my notebook. It's like that. These are my, rhapsodies. These are my my revelries, wandering through the streets, the endless pastoral. But I don't know. I just can't do office job. I can't. I mean, I guess how do I civilize myself? How do I transition? How do I get with the times? I need an intern. That's something we were going to look for at Easy Paradise. The KGB suggested I get an intern. Maybe I could just get a video intern to do all the work for me, and then I'll just, contract it out and sub-bill it or something. The thing is, all the video jobs I had, we were very pampered. We were well paid. We were well fed. We were traveling, shooting whatever, models, whatever it was, educational stuff. So it's like I've got this idea in my head that I deserve a certain kind of level of comfort and pamperedness when I do these things, and a certain amount of money. You're getting paid $600 a day or whatever to film. And did I deserve that? I don't fucking know. I guess I'm, they're not very appreciative, I will say that. They're not like very complimentary or like appreciative of like my skills, or they were like, oh, it's so you do like framing and operating the camera and stuff, but it's like we need you to do these subtitles and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe I was getting overpaid and I was just being spoiled because I was like part of this. It was my buddy. It was my buddy's contract, and he was just having me along for the ride, and his like Billy Madison rich kid fake employment, running a fake company with your parents' money. That's everybody now. I mean, we don't have any money of our own. We've been unable to build wealth. They won't let us move up the ladder. We have to fucking email ourselves to death if we want anything. And we have to comport ourselves conscientiously within that. Figure out how to fucking write emails. And be the politics and the fucking manners of that. Best, sincerely. Hope you had a great weekend. Blah, blah, blah. I thought they were going to get nicer. I didn't think they were going to fire me. I thought I was going to get fired last year. Maybe I manifested it. I manifested it because I wrote all these poems last year about how I was going to get fired. And then I got hired. Now I'm getting fired. So I guess it's a delayed release. I also wanted to talk about Tiger Woods. The thing about Tiger Woods is like, okay, on paper it looks like one thing. But you really have to, I think he was like we all know he's a sex addict and had crazy kind of, insatiability when it came to that. But I think it went hand in hand. I think he was just like a drama junkie. It wasn't just like the scores it was the shots that he would make. If you go back and you watch Tiger Woods like highlight reels of some of the fucking situations he got himself out of, and some of the fucking, like even when he was a teenager, he won the fucking like U.S. amateur like 3 times in a row as a teenager. And he like, one year he made it by like making some super fucking, 60-foot long putt from like the apron or some shit I think it was at Sawgrass. And, it was a super dramatic, like come from behind, like highlight reel, like Jordan type, last minute buzzer beater type drama thing. I think he got off on that kind of shit. Just like, oh my God, like, you thought he was out of it, and bam, he just hit like the greatest fucking chip shot you've ever fucking, like that shot at the Masters, the 16th hole. I don't know if people remember this, but it's unbelievable. This fucking, it curves and it rolls it just, for whatever reason, I don't know if Tiger Woods is back, or, the way that Trump has just been kind of normalized. Tiger Woods has kind of been I don't know, embraced or something, just as like a winner. And, I mean, I think sex addiction, it's just like it's just a condition of being a man. We're overclocked. Our scrotums, I'm sorry, but our horny principle is just, those glands are way over inspired. And so Tiger Woods, I mean, he's Tiger Woods, y'all. He could hook up with the Waffle House waitress or the Hooters waitress or whatever, and the porn star. He was like Trump. He was hooking up with porn stars. He was such a fucking sex freak that he had to get real pros. He was watching fucking free ones one day, and he was like, yeah, let me just have my agent contact, whatever, Lisa Ann or whatever. Sorry to be gross. Porn is just such a part of our culture now. I think that's part of how we've been over weaponized sexually as men. Our horniness has just been way provoked and stoked. And the porn is a big part of that, I think. Creating that expectation, creating that unrealistic dynamic. So yeah, anyway, Tiger Woods was just like, he was almost like autoerotically asphyxiating himself. Like competitively. He put himself in these situations where it's like, oh my God, he had 5 putts on the last 6 holes. Like, how the fuck do you even do that? It doesn't even make sense. It's just like, but somehow Jack Nicklaus won more majors and also had shitloads of runners up. It's like, is there a Jack Nicklaus highlight reel that looks like that? Because it's fucking, it was magic. A lot of the shit is like magic. We're just like, how the fuck did this guy make that shot, hit that shot, make that putt? It's like, nobody else could fucking do that, And, oh no, I'm on 20%. Fuck, so I gotta wrap it up pretty soon-ish. I don't know. It's a long weekend. I just wanted to get out there in the bittersweet summertime. And who knows? Is this going to be the last 4th of July ever? Next year will be Trump Day. My beard is getting white, I don't know. Have I started to age quicker because of my tooth? I've got like more gray in my hair. I'm becoming a 40-year-old Holden Caulfield. I've got a gray fucking streak in my hair. Like John Henson of Talk Soup. I don't know. I mean, the poetry will always continue. The one-man theater, that's really what it is. That's what these poetry readings are, is they're just one-person dialogue. I just feel kind of corny splitting it all up into characters. And keeping track of that kind of logic and stuff, I don't know. I guess I need to reintroduce some kind of discipline to my life somehow. Other than live streaming and doing open mic. Is the party over? Is summer over? Do I need to how do I grow up? How do I monetize? How do I financialize? How do I sell out? There's no opportunities. It's all AI now. They took our jobs. The artificial slavery. What do I do? Am I obsolete? I'm being phased out. I'm like defense. I'm gonna end up on the Santa Monica Pier, getting shot by Robert Duvall. Complaining on the internet about gender dynamics. I guess I should write some kind of serious book, I guess. You know, I mean, I'm proud of like my LA storybook. I think if I had to pick one thing that's like probably the best piece I've made, it might be the LA storybook with the movie. I don't know if people have watched that, but I don't know. Just one day at a time, I guess, taking it forward, taking the path forward. Just keep making work, keep writing, keep publishing, keep reading, keep sharing, keep posting, keep vlogging. I'd like to travel, you know. If I could get some kind of big chunk of money, I'd go read my poetry everywhere and vlog about it, visit people. That's what I'd like to do. I mean, maybe I've just spent too much time in New York. But I mean, I saw somebody with a video that were like, you know, New York has the best people. And I know that sounds insane, but I think it's kind of true. I mean, the best of the best come here. And the competition does kind of grind you out. You know, like maybe you can't stay here forever. Maybe it's just like, yeah, at a certain point, you're just old news. You know, how do you stay relevant? How do you stay employed? And if you don't get in there when you're young, you know what I mean? If you don't get in there and get visibility, cultural real estate when you're young, it does kind of get harder, I think, as you get older. You know, it's like when I write, like all my fucking stand-up material, it's like shit that would have been funny 15 years ago. Maybe. You know, if I would have been doing a Charles Grodin or a fucking Jim Belushi or a Richard Lewis impression in like 2005, maybe that would have been sort of funny. But then you look at, you know, if you actually look at these people on Saturday Night Live, like Bill Hader or fucking Fred Armisen or Will Forte or even Jason Sudeikis, you're just like, yeah, these guys, they just have it all. You know, fucking... They have an oblique sense of humor. Their sense of humor kind of defined what people thought was funny at the cutting edge of that time. And they were young when they were doing it. You know, I've kind of lived my whole life like it was like a practice. Like it was a rehearsal for what I'm really going to do. And so I've had a lot of odd opportunities like pass right before my eyes because I thought, well, I'll do it next time. Like, okay, I'm here now, but like, I'm scared, so I'll do it next time. I'll talk to this person next time. I'll get the job done next time. Next time I'll know how to do it. And it's like, well, you kind of have to, you know, like when the Beatles were recording their fucking albums, they weren't like, well, this is just a practice, and then we'll figure out, you know, it's like they kind of learned as they were making things that were accomplished. You know, like you do kind of have to figure out a way to do both. You should always be trying to make something that's like good and finished as you're developing. But me, I kind of looked at everything like it was just practice. And, you know, I had all these lines in here about, the thing is I get so deconstructive. When I start to work on a play, I just start to think about all of the nuts and bolts of like, how it's being presented, you know, why, or like a movie, it's like, what, like I was saying the other day, it's like, what makes a good scene? How do I know when a scene is done? Why show this and not that? Like, how do you know you're doing it right? And it's more of like an intuitive kind of feel process, I think, if you want to make something that is actually kind of has a resonating kind of beauty. You can't just force things, you know. But it's hard to do both. You know, it's hard to make something that is good and finished on your way toward, you know. So it's like my process was kind of co-opted into kind of more immediate stuff. You know, I use whatever, I should be writing right now. You know, like I should be like, if you're a writer, it's like I should be like in a book, like generating text, editing text. But, you know, I sort of took that capacity and I'm trying to, you know, channel it into this. And this is my form of writing, is like talking live. And, or vlogging instead of making a film, you know, instead of writing a script and filming, you know, setups and all the traditional things you're supposed to do to make like a kind of fourth wall. And so on one hand, it just looks like I have nothing to show for it. It just looks like I have like a social media page, just like everybody else that nobody watches. Or I've got like a micro audience of like, I'll get like, this will probably get between 50 and 100 views maybe, which is not nothing. You know, I think I do get a lot of new viewers. You know, it's only like 18% of my viewers are like returning viewers. So I do have a lot of people that click and are new and potential, you know, future audience. But I'm a long goddamn way from fucking monetizing it. And like this guy on the open mic today, I was just like playing something off his YouTube, and I looked at his YouTube. He's got the same amount of fucking subscribers as I do. And he's like an open mic performer. It's like 340 fucking subscribers. It took me it's taken me 16 years of long, hard, you know, streaming my ass off for hours and hours and hours to almost no audience. I was looking at some of my pandemic live streams, and some of them have only got like 14 views, 17 views. It's like, Jesus Christ. I put a lot of work into those things. I mean, that's what I did during the pandemic. I thought more people were watching them or something. Even my old vlogs, it's like, please, go back and watch them, please. I think they hold up. They're time capsules, you know? You can see how it all went wrong. I basically started documenting everything right as the shit hit the fan. By 2 years into my vlog, you know, Trump was well on his way to being God Emperor. And we vlogged the whole fucking process. So, you know, at the very least, there will be a digital, you know, footprint afterward. Hopefully, you know, hopefully we're not just dumped in the digital landfill and deleted from history's pages. But we were observed a little bit. We've been observed a little bit. Our life, you know, the unobserved life is not worth living. There's a little bit of observation going on. We're so thirsty. We're so thirsty to be seen, to be validated as writers. I mean, god damn, I would, you know, what else do you have besides a good writer telling you you're good? And if they don't, if your heroes don't like you, then what? That's where I'm at. If your heroes are like, this guy sucks, then what do you do? Then how do you justify going on? You know, they hated Rimbaud when he came to Paris. I think they recognized his power. They all recognized that he was like a bad motherfucker. But they just thought he didn't like emails either. He had bad email etiquette. So, you know, that, I don't know. I've got the wrong role models. I have all these antisocial, kind of anti-New York literary world kind of role models. So I thought it was cool to kind of have a bad attitude. Like Rene Ricard. To just be a cunt. To be cunty. Isn't that what everybody wants now? To serve cunt? It's giving cunt. Can I say that on the YouTube? Am I going to be shadow banned for saying the see you next Tuesday word? It's giving, I thought everybody wanted, it's giving cunt. You know, it's giving, or like, you know, that's cunt is like the highest compliment you can give something now. It's like, oh yeah, that's cunt. We want to be cunt. That's like, that's goals. Goals is to be cunt. Just be a bitch. Because you're so fucking hot. That's hot girl privilege. It's serving cunt. It's serving cunt summer, okay? That's the summer we're living in. So I don't know. Just live every day. I mean, appreciate it. I love it. I love poetry. I mean, I think we get too distracted by the professionalism and the politics. And I don't know. I know I probably don't spend enough time with the text. You know, I was reading this David Henderson book on the way over, The Low East. Let me pull that out real fast. One of the greats, David Henderson. There he is on public access television or something. Okay, we've got 10%, so I'll wrap it up pretty soon. I don't know. You know, poetry is the balm. It's the place of sanity and understanding and companionship amongst all of the world going awry. Poetry explains it. Poetry grounds it. It's a salve. And it's a catharsis. I don't know. Maybe I am just like this fucking open mic host, you know? Maybe I am. It's like embarrassing now. Now I feel like I'm like, it's like some low status thing. Like, oh, if you're a serious poet, you're like a professor, you've got all this clout, you're publishing all this different shit, you're anthologized, blah, blah, blah. I'm just a fucking open mic host with all the fucking people that like can't get MFAs. The people that are not good enough for the poetry industrial complex. For the academic cocktail parties. To play the game. To have that kind of pedigree. You know, it's totally a class thing. Academia, it's aspirational. You know, people want the kind of tweed, elbow pad, tenure track, you know, big house. They want the William H. Macy Oleana, you know, package. They want the big house, the tenure package. They want to be able to provide for a family and blah, blah, blah. And we all should. That's what every poet deserves. We all deserve a cottage, a haiku cottage, a low, you know, the thing that people don't understand is like this rent thing that's going out of control where everybody's rent is being raised and property taxes are being raised. That's like an extermination of the artists, really. It's an extermination of the bohemian artists or like working class artists. Because the thing that enables you to be an artist is cheap rent. You know, having a rent-controlled apartment, having a deal, having a humane landlord, and having cheap rent so you can work less, so you spend less fucking time on your fucking shitty emails, and you spend more time out smoking opium, having visions, you know, having wild visions like William Blake, going on vision quests, and hallucinating and systematically deranging your senses. I guess that's an archaic, cliched prescription, but everybody's an L7 now. They're real squares running everything in poetry through machines. It's all fucking machines. People on fucking keyboards all day looking at screens, and I won't do it. I want to be out listening to the whispers in the trees, not jotting down the voices out in the magical woods, interacting with reality, having confrontations, having face-to-face experiences with strangers, with the unknown. I'd like to get money. I'd like to have a salary and get paid and be supported and be financially secure. and be taken care of, like like we were during the pandemic. I knew it. I talked about it at the time, just like how I knew that was like the best living situation I was probably ever going to have. And it's like that's what we should be promised in this country, of exorbitant, unheard of wealth and bounty. We should all have a free ride at life. We should all have a government sanctioned apartments, universal basic income, free time to travel, peaceful diplomatic passport relations with all countries, no war machine, no money on bombs. Spend all the money on bombs on housing infrastructure, high-speed rail, poetry, mimeo machines, fucking laser printers for the poets, live streaming poetry, poet videographers, help prevent them from losing their jobs, Bidenomics at work. I'm just another poor white trash guy that's been outsourced. I'm not economically viable. So, happy 4th of July, everybody. Here's to getting fired the day before, celebrating your country's not wanting to pay taxes anymore. And not wanting to have a king. Meanwhile, we're about to elect our next king, our first king in 250 years. So it's an awesome time to be alive, and just enjoy what you can while you can. Enjoy your friends and family. We could all be nuked. We could all be gone in a hyper flash. So, all right. I can sense people want to sit at my table. So, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Go back. I just complain the whole time. I don't know. Hopefully other artists can relate to my predicament. That's why I do it. To share my truth. To share the specificity of my experience in the hopes that others might be able to relate. Good luck out there. Keep fucking writing poetry. Keep sharing your heart. And, St. Mark's Church may be closed for the summer, but we can still keep writing poetry. We'll be at Poetry Festival next weekend. I'll be live streaming, my ass off, the election coverage 2024. I'm with Brandon until better alternatives present themselves. Thank you for watching. Live long and prosper, everybody. And check out my vlogs. Watch my vlog from last summer, Central Park. It's 3 hours long. If you're looking for things to do, check out my old vlogs. God bless us, everyone. God bless America. God bless America.